This is the new Ford Ranger Wildtrak X, and if you plan to buy one through your company, do it now, because in April 2025 this will no longer be classed as a commercial vehicle. But if you buy one before April 2025, it's tax deductible up until 2029. So the Wildtrack X sits between the Wildtrack and the Platinum Edition. So let's see what it's actually like. I'm Max Adavani and welcome to Driven Plus. Well, let's get out onto the road, and before we do, let me demonstrate the side steps. I got to admit, if I was to have this car, I wouldn't have them because they're a nuisance. They get in the way. Easy to get in, but when you get out, it's not very easy. You can scuff your legs and then you've got mud all over them. But starting the car, so let's start it. The first thing I do straight away is click this car icon on here, go to driver assistance, and then you want to press on speed limit assist, turn that off, and then you got to turn the lane keeping system off, which is mounted onto the steering wheel. Anyway, let's get out onto the road. So I've been living with this thing for the weekend now, and I've been really impressed. Me and my brother-in-law, we went down to Hereford because we went to go see the rugby, Wales versus Ireland, and we stayed in Hereford. So we thought we'd get in this and we'll take it and see what it's like. Really comfortable, loads of space. We were both impressed with this thing. And another thing I was impressed with was the MPG, 27.7 to the gallon. And I was thinking, for a big pickup truck weighing just over 2 tons, that's really good. The only thing which I did pick up on, excuse the pun, is it's just a bit gutless. I mean, if I put my foot down, it just lacks that bit of oomph that you probably expect when you're paying for such a high price tag. And for that aspect, if I was to buy one of these, the first thing I'd do is look for the bigger engine, so 3 litre V6. If I was to buy one, it had to be that engine. So if you're planning to buy a Ford commercial vehicle, go and speak to Liam from Ford in Breton. He sorted me out with this Wildtrack X model for the weekend, and I'm sure he will sort you out in the best way possible to get you the best deal on any Ford commercial vehicle. So the Wildtrack X gets a part-time 4-wheel drive system. So like here now, we're just driving in 2-wheel drive, and you can switch between different drive modes such as 4 high, 4 low and 4A. And to be fair, this thing is really nice to drive. It's not as bouncy as I was expecting from a pickup truck. The suspension deals with bumps really good, and it feels really firm but not overly firm. Like, it feels reassuring that when you go over a bump you think, oh, this is tough, because it feels like it. And combine it with these really comfortable seats and the brilliant driving position, it's a great place to be. And the only thing which I have kind of noticed is the suspension on the back end. It's leaf spring suspension, so when you do go over bumps, it does become bouncy and it does become crashy. But that is the case with pretty much every pickup truck because they're designed to take loads. So if you're planning to buy one for private use and you're not really going to put stuff in the back, which I wouldn't, I just buy one because I think it's cool to have a pickup truck, then bear that in mind. But then if you're planning to buy one to use every day and you're going to have stuff in the back, fine. And if I was to be honest, I thought this car would have been generating a lot more road noise than it actually is, because you've got these general grabber all-terrain tyres. You'd think they'd be translating into some sort of tyre noise on the road. None of that going on. And the other thing is the massive, huge wing mirrors. You think they'd be translating into some sort of wind noise. There's none of that going on. The only thing which I have encountered are from the tyres. So occasionally it will pick up a stone from the road and then throw it into the side step, and it'll create this almighty loud bang. Once you understand that that's going on, it's fine. But the first few times it happens, thinking, well, is the car falling apart? But no, that's what's going on. So under the bonnet of the Wildtrack X sits a 2 litre 4-cylinder diesel engine, and if I was to be honest, I'd be a bit disappointed, because considering all the top spec you get on this Wildtrack X model, it would have been nice to see the 3 litre V6 diesel engine which you get in the Platinum Edition. However though, this still produces decent numbers, 205 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic gearbox. I'll touch on that later. Anyway, Ford say this will do a 0 to 60 time of 10.5 seconds. So let's find out. Okay, so it's time to launch the Ford Ranger from 0 to 60. On your screen now are the stats and figures on this car, so pause your screen if you want to look into them. Now this car does not have launch control, so we're going to have to brake boost it. Now I'm going to count how many times this changes to get to 60. Normally most cars take only 2 gears, maximum 3 gears to reach 60. So let's see how many it's going to take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gears to get to 60, but it's done it in 10.6 seconds, so it's there or thereabouts, to be fair. Well, that's what it stacks up against, and let's go back to the review. So now I'm going to show you all the features you get with the Wildtrack X model, and there's a lot going on in this area of the car, starting with these general grabber all-terrain tyres. They're great features. You get this black wheel arch lining here, 17-inch black alloy wheels, and behind them sits Bilstein suspension. So that's a nice feature, and you also get these really tough, rugged side steps. Moving on to the front design of the car, and it just looks mean and ready to rock and roll, doesn't it? And I think Ford massively improved the design of this generation Ranger compared to the old one. Old one is still a good looking pickup as well, I'll be honest. I like the Ranger badge you get here, massive Ford badge, big grille here, these matrix LED headlights which kind of wrap around the grille like these lights integrated into the grille as well. Orange accents there, and listen to this just shows how tough this car is. And that's a steel bash plate, which you only get with the Wildtrack X model. Moving on to the back of the Ranger, first you get 2 steps either side like that, so you can get into the bed very easily, and you just know what this car is by looking at the tailgate. Ford Ranger Wildtrak X. And you've got your tow bar down there, and there's your reversing camera on the Ford badge. Let's bring the tailgate down. Well, it's made out of very durable material, which it's got to be made out of that stuff. 2 electrical inlets down there, and I like the sound this makes. Plenty of space in there, by the way. The bed is massive, and I like this noise. Whoa, you know it's closed. And when we come onto the inside, you get some signature Wildtrack X interior touches, such as the Wildtrack X logo on the dash there, on the seats as well. But it's a very nice place to be. It feels very spacious, it feels big. I like these handles here, and it makes it feel tough. So let's move on to the door card, because it has hidden door handles. And I was quite surprised at the start, but now I've lived with it quite more, it actually makes a lot of sense, and it's actually quite handy as well. It's very useful. And then we come onto the steering wheel, you get this orange stitching as well, and that feels nice to hold. Behind that, you get a digital driver's display. And you can choose from different views from the menu. So for instance, you got like my view, so that gives you different kind of fuel economy, off-road status. You've got your trip and fuel, then you've got off-road, so you can go on to power distribution, so it tells you which wheel is putting more power in. Oh, that's gone off. Where are we going? Back onto towing, so you've got a towing function as well. It tells you the trailer light status, so that's all very handy. And I like the introduction of this driver's display down here, and all the way you've got your navigation, so you can integrate that onto there as well. Now moving on to the infotainment screen, it's called Sync 4. Now this is the upgraded one, so it's a 12-inch display. In the base model Rangers you get a 10-inch display, and yes, this does have Apple CarPlay, as you can see, and it's also got Android Auto. That's all as standard. The only fiddly thing I don't like, when we're in a static environment like here, the climate control buttons are very easy to use. It's when you're on the move, it's quite fiddly, and you know that goes on to most cars nowadays. There's everything going into the screen, but I like the layout. It's very nice. Down here, underneath that, you have a bit of a storage unit and a wireless charging mount, which is very nice as well. I like the design of the gear stick. Your 2 cup holders are here, and here's your different drive modes, which is your 2 high, 4 low, 4A. Don't know what that means. Someone school me on that. And here you got your glove box as well, with your 12-volt socket down there. Although when you close the glove box, it just sounds a bit cheap. I don't like that sound. So you got 12-volt socket in there, and also down there you got a normal USB and a USB-C as well. And there are your different off-road modes, and this comes up on your screen as well. You've got hill descent control as well. And these seats are really comfortable as well. It's a nice place to be. It's You got Bang & Olufsen sound system as well, so that performs very well. Up here, no sunroof, but you do have a sunglasses holder, and someone has left their sunglasses in for me as well. They're quite smart, aren't they? Yeah, we'll have that. Storage, in terms of storage units in here, it's very good. So the door cards are big, that's good as well. You also get a storage unit on the top of the dash, and the glove box down there, well, that's a very decent size. Now, when we come onto the back of the Ranger, you are limited for space, if I was to be honest. You do get ISOFIX, so it's perfect for putting kids in. But this is a commercial vehicle, remember? So anyway, but yeah, leg space is a bit impeded. Head space is fine. There's loads, but you do feel a bit cramped. But that's the case with most pickup trucks anyway. But what features do you get? Well, you get an armrest here. Bloody hell. Oh. I'm surprised there's an armrest left. Well, that's something definitely wrong there. Well, you need force to open them. You need to be a strong man or woman. You got 2 cup holders there as well, if you can put your drinks in there. And down here you get a USB-C socket and USB as well, and you also get a plug socket as well, or 230 volt. So yeah, there's yeah, it's not a bad place to be. I don't think that back window does not open, but yeah, I could go for short journeys, but long journeys, it's a no from me. My only problem I have with this car is the gearbox. It's got 10 gears. It's just too many. So I'm going to come to a stop now, and I'm going to demonstrate how many times this changes. And I'm just going to keep quiet. Okay, here we go. It's just constantly changing. It's quite annoying. And it's like a scene from the Fast and Furious when somehow they just keeps finding an extra gear. And it's the same with this. And considering this is the Wildtrack X model, the engine is okay. The only thing which I think lets it down is the fact that you're always constantly hearing it change. And I think considering you get all the nice kind of off-roading goodies, the side steps, the steel bash plate and the big tyres, I'd be a bit disappointed at the fact you only get a 2-litre diesel engine, where I think it'd be nice to have the V6 that you get in the Amarok as well. And say you're going to be buying this car because it's got a tow bar, it's just a bit gutless, and you just lack a bit of that oomph you expect from a car of this size and for something that looks so muscly. So this Wildtrack X model performs really well on the road. One place where it performs probably better than it does on road is off-road. You've got obviously the all-terrain tyres, the bash plate on the front, and obviously that great suspension, and you've got all the different driving modes as well. And you've also got a rear locking differential, and that will lock up to 20 miles per hour. So although this performs great on the road, I don't think Ford would be particularly happy with me if I took it on a green lane or to test out its off-road capabilities, although this car has been set up to do that. So I'm a huge Toyota fan, by the way, and the Hilux definitely stands out when compared to its rivals, and so does the Isuzu D-Max. But I think I'd actually probably opt for the Ranger because you can get a V6 engine, which is something you cannot get in a Hilux in the UK. It's got better road holding, I think it looks better, and it's more comfortable as well. But of course, I can understand the pull towards the Toyota badge. That's quite a big thing. So this is a great road to kind of test out the Ranger's capabilities in a corner, and I understand you're not probably going to be chucking this round a bend. But sometimes, you know, you're in a bit of a hurry and you need to get to the next job site as quick as you can. So this is a great tight left-hander here. And the good thing is about the Ranger, it doesn't feel a heavy car. It actually gives you a bit of confidence to put in to a corner, and it's actually well balanced. And the fact you got those all-terrain tyres as well, you thought it'd be a bit sketchy. None of that's going on. It does provide you with quite nice confidence, and the brakes are good as well. And it's not leaning too much. That actually might be thanks to the Bilstein suspension. But I'd like to say a massive thanks to Ford in Breton, and especially Liam, for sorting me out with this review. So massive thanks to those guys. And as I said before, if you're in the market for a Ford commercial vehicle, definitely give those guys a ring. They will sort you out. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and we'll see you soon. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.